Alright, it's Mike. I'm back again with a little update. You probably didn't expect to see me standing here with a level 6 rifle in my hand. This thing does 90 damage range. That's why I put my scope on there. You screamers, I'm gonna get you. I have to make it count the first time because it's only a single shot. Anyway, what I've let me first go get the rest of my stuff. And yeah, this is yeah, there's some in the pit still. And I'll explain at least what my thoughts are on this. I'll give you a little run around my base before I go in. I think I killed everybody over here again. That's why I need to get all my stuff out of here. This is still a spawn point, and it's about to be night. Alright. Um, I'm going to put... I want to take my lockpicks. I can hear you out there. I hear you scrambling around. I'm going to leave you for a moment. I'm going to take, just because I want that, in case something happens. You never know, right? You never know. Who knows what can happen? I may even need to do some electrical eventually. It's quickly going to get dark though, so I figured I better do this before that, when our little friends start to move a little quicker. Alright. I should have brought torches with me too. Want my AK. So I modified my little ditch. Excuse me. Dug it further out. Dug it further down there. I'm in the process of digging this other ditch deeper as a trap. My thoughts on this are, and as you see, I dug well down on below my foundation level all the way around. I can probably get that out more, but they just can't jump up to the foundation, and that is the key, is them not being able to stand there and beat on your foundation. Now, granted, you can do the no, you can do the thing where, you put out traps and so on, but you have to keep up with that, and you have to keep up with your ammunition, and you have no choice but to continually keep up with that. You have to keep up with your resources. You have to keep up with your well, that's not good. Why can't I put one there? You're gonna make me step off of this, aren't you? You have to keep you have to continually keep up with your resources. It's just not gonna work. And I'm not gonna give them something to jump on, so thank you. This way, I don't really have to put any traps down there. I don't have to put traps down there. And my thought, and this could just be speculation on my part, but on the front, where they're trapped, and luckily, this entire I mean, there's no way I could have known this before I built, but it's all iron and um, whatever it is, nitrate deposits and so on. A lot of irons down there. And what they've ended up doing is making Swiss cheese down there, but in the process of them just randomly breaking blocks, they they cause little niches for themselves, little spots where they can't get out of, or they can jump out of, but they can't dig up any higher. As they do, gravity is against them. Gravity works against them. So that's what I have in my favor. That gravity works against. I'm about maxed out on this chest, aren't I? I can't put all those in there. You two can go in there. Let me just divide it up. But I'm going to keep you out. I will say this much. These two items right here, they need to be enshrined in a glass case when this is all over. If this works, these two items right here will have more than made up for in being worthy to me and worthwhile. They have done their job. Let's see. I need to keep you out. I'm going to put you up for a minute. I don't know what the deal was. I put out a turret over to my left, and it was gone. I came back and like, where did my turret go? And I put that, so I took the other turret and swapped its place. I had, no, going the wrong way. Turned around. I had a turret over here, and I had to pick it up and put it back over there. I don't know why. It's not that that does that much good. I put that one down, and I came back and it disappeared. So I have 3 out. That's good. But in the front here, there is a wall down there. They still get a little hidden, barely, but as you can see him walking, her, whatever, right along. There's a wall down there. And behind there is just, they made Swiss cheese. I filled it back in with blocks, but it's not really a big issue. That's not holding up this building. If anything, part of the bottom part may crumble, but that's really to their disadvantage as well, because then they have nothing left they can reach to break. Like I said, gravity is working against them. And I really don't have any necessity to mitigate that down there. I can always, after Horde Night, go down there and toss Molotovs or grenades or whatever I want. It's not really going to make any difference. That hole getting bigger doesn't matter. So, and it was an epic. I tell you what, it was epic, because when I was digging out that area, it was a race against time, because I was up against my day 98 Horde Night. Let me tell you, I finished digging. I mean, at the very moment the Horde was arriving. Put out those blocks, jumped up here, pulled them back as the Horde was arriving. You see, they took out they destroyed my drawbridge, but no matter. There's a lot of forged iron. They took it out. It doesn't say I need a drink, but I'm going to take it anyway. So, I had to rearrange this down here. I realized what had happened. Originally, I had made, and this should never be done. Don't make a long drop See, I can drop now and boom, boom. I can't hurt myself. So I stepped it over. I had it going all the way down and I stepped it over, right? Here I have it more toward the center. So this vulnerability, this hollow spot they sense is more in the center, right? So they're not as inclined to dig over to my left here underneath this edge, which is not good because I don't want this corner of this to fall off. So now they stay more concentrated digging just right in the center, which is fine because it's not going to compromise the building. As I said, it's almost all iron under there. So I extended everything down. It's resting on the iron down there. So even if they knock some stuff out, the Swiss cheese they create down there is not enough to bring this building down. And if anything, since the pit is in the front, the deepest pit, as I said, if they take those blocks out, they are left with no means except to break blocks all the way down underneath. But they're going to be digging and digging so far down, they're no longer, because I extended those blocks in the front down. The whole foundation does not extend that deep. Just this front area where I've gone down and I hollowed out and I extended down the blocks to give support for the hollowed out earth where I had taken away a lot of material. So it's accessible to them. But in the back, it's just a flat foundation that's, 2/3 of this whole building is just sitting on a flat block foundation right on the ground. Only this front part is, but the sides are still intact and sitting on iron. Now to the right, it's more nitrate powder. I don't know if I've ever. There is some also, which I don't know that it's only 500 that oil shale. It's not necessarily high strength, but it's more high strength than sand. And since I'm in the desert, this is almost all just sand. But what I did was, while I was down there and they had carved out all those blocks and carved out a lot of material, I dug out all that sand from in between the iron and so on and put my blocks there and filled in gaps and things. Like I said, they had tunneled and made a lot of. The only reason they got in is because I left those railings. So there were moments that they were jumping and landing on the railing, getting in the middle of my building. Then they started to hollow out the middle part. Then, and of course, unintended consequences, right? You change one little thing. I changed that back part and I put that walkway so I could get to my door easily. And they started using it. Well, that's when it all went wrong. In the last video you saw where they tore up underneath here, they got in because this area was now vulnerable. They were able to walk in and just beat on this wall. So my only casualty in this whole matter was my chemistry station, which I can live with that. I can live with losing my chemistry station. I managed to get, and the one thing that, and if anybody has an answer to this, same thing with the chemistry, I could have saved the chemistry station. But I could not repair this to take. I looked in the wiki, I looked on Google, I Googled this and searched many different links, and everything that is there would say, well, you can't pick it up unless you repair it, but they don't give you any information on how to repair it. I have no idea and I had everything in my inventory, whether it be just raw iron, forged iron and steel, all sorts of different minerals and whatever, anything I could think of that it could be repaired with. The only thing I could think of is I need the nail gun to do it with. Just as if you need to upgrade blocks beyond cobblestone, I guess, or yeah, I think cement is as strong as you can get without the nail gun. Now, of course, I did have some rebar frames and I put wet cement on it, and that dries to reinforced concrete. But you can do that just with concrete in your inventory or cement in your inventory. The wet cement bucket, you can do that with the nail gun. And I think that's what I need for the chemistry station and for the workbench is the nail gun. I could be wrong. If somebody knows this, is running this problem and found out how to how to do it, please let me know so I can confirm that I'm right or wrong, whether I'm wrong or not. Uh, I could, like I said, I tried to get the chemistry station. I must have hit it one time and did it one damage. And I tried. Same thing with the workbench. I was going to take it and move it up here, but they only destroyed the chemistry station. So my forge I picked up, and my forge and my mixer, and brought it up here. Put my boxes up here. I went and got my helicopter. Yeah, my gyro. It was over there on the side of this mountain. Yeah, it was pitiful. One of these things where obviously I'm gonna have to take it in practice. As far as I'm gonna have to learn how to take off from this structure. I may have to increase the size to give me a little bit more space because gravity works against you on flying a gyrocopter too. I may have to extend this whole thing out some, or at least extend it out as a runway of sorts, and maybe buttress it with some pillars and whatnot from here, come up and just extend it out maybe 20 feet, and that may fix that. So now this is not going to give me all the experience except sitting here picking them off as they come up. The junk turret helps, but and it does give me experience. I think I may need the perk for it to actually give me experience, or it may give me experience, but only to a small degree, and I need to get the perk to bring it up. So I have found, like I said, I'm running perception, and I have my glasses on right now. I went ahead and bumped this up. These are at 5. I still need to go through the rest of those, but I did go ahead and get Master Chef under, yeah. So I had to go up to 3 to get that. I got 3 points right now. I have to sit and think about that. But now I can cook some better food. I don't think I've really got. I started off here. Ooh, that's perception. Never mind. It was science, intellect. Yeah, I have my intellect glasses as well, but I already have my bike. I have my gyro. Um, I don't know what all I've unlocked, but I did. Turkey was talking about that book, and I did go ahead and buy that. I have that book. This is fairly useless, but whatever. Um, but there's my book situation right now. I tell you what, I have Lucky Looter on 5, and I have these 2 books, but it's like I don't find more. This is it now. I find a lot of food and a lot of medical supplies, but not much else. And I tell you what, Jen, Jen was enjoying it way too much. That whole time when all this mayhem started, no ammo. No ammo. For 4 days, she had no ammo. And now, this last one went back, still. All she's got is armor piercing, and I can't use armor piercing. So she's teasing me with, oh, don't you wish that, oh, it's not this chest, but I was just going to show you that, I mean, I get a ton, and I use a ton, you know? So I am not in any loss for medical supplies. Not that it does me any good, because they usually overrun me and kill me anyway. But from time to time, I keep my head about me, and I use them. In time, if this was permadeath, this would definitely be a must-have or something, right? But I don't think that's it. That's all I have. Little bits I've made here and there, some because coal, right? Where is it? It's not in here. He's gonna say, where's my nitrate powder? It says 1116. I would think I have more than that. I really would think I had more than that. Of course, I've used. Oh, there we go. 7,000, because there's a huge nitrate deposit, not just Not just what you saw, like it's glistening there, but all in this area here was all nitrate. All over there, as I dig down in the pit, it's all nitrate. I mean, there's still probably twice that amount, or at least that amount, 6,000 nitrates still down there. And as I'm saying, I'm digging this out deeper. I'm going to dig that completely deep, and then I'm going to wrap it around and dig it out all the way up to the pit. This is dug to the pit. I'm going to dig this out because, as to my first point, it negates the necessity for me having to keep up with putting traps out there to keep them from beating on my blocks of my foundation. They can't get there now. And then if they started to dig, they could dig up underneath. They could still dig, and they can still go up as they dig. But if worse comes to worse, I'll break everything down there. If I can figure out how to take my workbench and pull it up, that would be great. But I'll break, the chests out of there, which I'm going to do anyway, and fill all that in with blocks. If I have to, I'll fill the entirety of everything in with blocks and just leave my workbench in that corner. That'll suit me as well. They're tenacious, but I am also tenacious. Let's just say I put way too much work in this base with 20, 30,000 blocks put down to just give it away. Not going to happen. As you saw from a distance, there is a lot of... Yeah, I have my helicopter and I have my bike. They're in storage. They're in box. I put way too much work in this. So, as bad as they wanted to destroy it and kick me out, it ain't happening. If they want me out, they're going to have to utterly bring the thing down to rubble. If they manage to do that, well, more power to them. I give my credit to the devs though. With all of the at all that the player has at his or her disposal to deal with them, they keep coming. And since I've gotten this back to a more normal state like this, the screamers stopped. As soon as I was in a bind, as soon as they knew they had me and they had breached that side over here and were coming in, because I had this reinforced concrete on the side that I had built out. Well, I had also built them a nice little ledge to crawl on, so I had to cut that back a bit. It was extending out, and I had to kind of go out and around and widen that. I think they can still jump on it, but there's not really a lot they can do there. They can beat in on the side, but they're going to eventually fall, because that's the one thing about it. They're pretty much haphazard. They'll just start beating on blocks, and if they get a way to step up, they'll step up. But if a block gets knocked out from underneath them, they fall. And if they fall down there, once they fall, it's deep enough over there they can't get back up. And if they do get back up, they can only get up so far, and then they can't reach anything else. They can maybe get back into the pit area, but they can't jump up, because that is now sitting 30 feet up in the air. So even if they get on that ledge and they start which, I can always jump out and go deal with them. And there is a turret over there. There's a turret there and a turret back there. So there again, I just wanted to give you an update. Anybody's concerned, like, boy, he lost his base in a spectacular fashion. He had to run away in fear and go hide in the hole in the ground. No, I didn't. I hid over there, and I pulled all my important stuff and put it over there. And then I ran the wasteland and looted some buildings, got some coal, and whatever else, some water, various things that I actually needed. It forced me out, but it was a good thing, because I actually needed to go do some things. Then I just made a big loop, came back, and said, you know what? I'm not giving up on that base. I'm not doing it. I can fix it. That's when I decided to come dig this out. I sat there a while, the game paused, and thought about it. And said, that's my only way. It's just, even with the bench, even with the mixer, even with going and just getting scrap or buying it, the iron spike traps last longer than the little barbed wire fences. If I could put concertina wire down there and just stack the whole thing with concertina wire, that'd be great. But these little wooden and, they're cheaper to make, but they don't hold up but maybe one time. It blocks them. They maybe kills them if they impale themselves several times, but then they're gone and you have to remake them. The spike traps last a little longer, but they tear those up. And the problem here is, as soon as they breach an area, it doesn't matter whether you have 10,000 spike traps. If they have a hole, all of them are going to go through that hole. They're not going to go impale themselves on the spike traps anymore. If they breach you, that's it. That's what they're going to do, is come through that breach. And they're just going to start destroying it. And once they know that they've breached it and start coming in mass, then the game's going to go, oh yeah? Here we go. She's coming. I can't see her. I'm going to call her friends in. But that's fine. Yeah, the range on my turrets, she's going to have to get closer. But she's already screamed, so. Well, that didn't take long. You didn't even wait till daylight. I'm expecting it now, so. Where are you? Oh, this is cool. Look at the fog roll. That's great. I wonder if this is an update. I doubt it. I think they do update. Well, I guess they do small updates time to time, maybe. I don't know. I don't see her. I would love to take her out. Where are you, Missy? I hear you, but I can't see you. I would like to plant a tree up here. Like right up there. I may just make a box, put some soil in it, and plant a tree. That'd be cool. My base, 100 feet tall, with a tree in it. Oh, did she fall in? No, that's not a screamer. And the thing is, another plus to this is I don't have to waste ammunition. And that's something that's, since I don't buy it, it's tough to keep up with. Maybe there is a screamer down here, and I just don't see her. Anyway, I didn't want to keep this going for too long. I just wanted a little update in case everybody thought that I had lost this and I was just going to give up. Oh, there is a screamer. Okay. Will you scream? Obviously, her friends are not coming this time. They can't hear you down there. I don't think they can hear you. You better get up here and try again. But this is a bit of a, like what I've found out. I may be wrong. If you think I'm wrong, please give me, enlighten me. But it's the same thing with a mountain. Could they get up to you in a mountain? Yeah, but it would take a long time, but they will step up. They can dig up. But the chances of them being able to do it now, if they make a hole and 100 of them start doing it and they wallow it out, eventually, yeah. Because I looked at this mountain right here and I said, that would be great. Just put this in a smaller way, just build a smaller tower up on top of that. But why reinvent the wheel? And there again, I was thinking the same thing. Well, what would I do if I wanted to keep them from being on the mountain? You'd have to dig a whole ring around the mountain to where they'd have to tunnel. And then you're still just slowing them down. The thing about it is, you got to look at it for depth. The deeper you go, the further they have to step up as they dig to get to you, to your actual foundation, come to your floor. And there again, I said I can fill my first floor down there in. The substructure below that first floor, at least in half of the space or third of the space, is, I mean, this full length. So, I mean, it goes down another third deeper than the rest of the base. So, concentrating their digging up here is great. I just, that's why I dug around it. I just don't want them back there at all if I can stop them. Before it seemed to be good. This was better for their AI to come here than go back there because it was just too much trouble. But yeah, they could have always done more damage back there if they started digging. They'd have gotten the base, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it brought the base down. They'd have just infiltrated it, and that's what they did before. But they took out my chemistry, and I don't even think they of course they don't mean to take out your chemistry station or any of your stuff. It's just the way it happens. Yeah, you better be dead. That's 90. So, as you can see, I got all. I took out. When I died, I had what, 2/3 in the red on my progress bar. With all that digging, with all my repairs and everything, I brought that all the way back down, and now I'm that far back. That's the progress I've made from the time that you saw me in my horrible misery, multiple deaths, falling out of my gyro, and all that good stuff. So, I have risen from the ashes again. Thank you, devs, for the game. Very cool. Keeps you on your toes, and gives you a lot. Gives you quite a scare at times. Quite a rush to try to keep it all going. But here I am back on my little perch. So thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one. See you next time.